Hello everybody and welcome back to a Elder Scrolls Online video with me, Sherman. Today we're going to be talking about the Stamina Nightblade build I have in front of you. I call it the Assassin's build. It's not the greatest build, but it is a kind of more normalized meta build, if you will. And it's one that I enjoy playing. I do enjoy playing this character a lot. I've been using an Argonian in Elder Scrolls games for a long time. In fact, when I would play normal Elder Scrolls games, I usually played in Argonian because I liked the the different passives and stuff that they had in those games. But what I really liked was the fact that they looked really cool in dark armor, and when you made them look better, you can make them look better, kind of things. But yeah, this is Stamina Nightblade. And it's one that's really fun to play, and it's really easy to put together. Anyone can play it. It's not complicated. It doesn't require a lot of math involved. It's just a matter of getting the gear, putting it together, and then playing the build. Now I use an Argonian because they do get extra health. They get that extra magicka, but it's the fact that they get that extra healing received that really plays into the build to make it a little bit more better, if you will. You can use whatever race you choose, or you could use Redguard for the extra DPS from the stamina. You could use an orc. You could use a dark elf because they do get extra stamina and health. There's a lot of different ways you could go with this, but like I said, I like the Argonian with this build because of the extra healing received. It's part of the concept behind it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the stats. But before I get too far, I do want to give a major shout out to my builder, Killer Mech. He's the one who helps me build all my gear most of the time, because I can't craft a lot of the gear sets that I need, and he can, and so I've been really hounding him a lot over the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. Hey, can you build me this set? Can you build me this set? Can you build me this set? But I supply him all the materials, or try to, as best I can, so he can build those things. So thank you, Killer Mech, for making all these gear sets. So these are my stats. As you can see, I have 14 into health, 50 into stamina. I have a 30k stamina right now. I know it's not super high. I could probably do better with a different race, like I said. I have a 21k health. The reason I went for the higher health is for a little bit more survivability and sustainability in dungeon encounters and stuff like that. This build can also work in PvP if you wanted to. You could just go with impenetrable armor and then change the stats around a little bit to get more variation out of it. I have a 25k weapon damage with a 63% weapon critical. On top of that, I don't know how I did this, how I pulled this off, but I do have the same spell and physical resistance, and it's a really good amount of resistance, especially when you get a couple buffs on yourself and things like that, because I do have an ability to apply a couple buffs which allows me greater resistances. I can push about 18,000 resistances, which means I take less damage, which is good for my group because that means I'm not dying as quickly. So really simple when it comes to that. Now when it comes to gear, that's a different story. A lot of people might be like, okay, this is atypical meta build, and they're right. I wear 5 pieces of Hundings in medium armor, all divines. I am wearing 2 pieces of Night Mothers here for the extra damage, the weapon damage, the stamina recovery, that kind of thing, and the sneak capabilities, because I do play this character as an assassin or as like a thief character. I do a lot of stealing with this character. Now I don't have divines in these 2, which I really wish I did, but I'm not really concerned by it right now, so I'm not like rushing out to get those things, but I will eventually get those things. Next up, I am also running 3-piece Night Mother's jewelry. And then I'm running something kind of weird on my weapons. On my dual wield bar, I run 2 endurance weapons because they were the only thing I could get at the time right away. So I'm running 2 endurance weapons for that extra health. It also gives me, I have poison damage on it, but one's sharpen and one is precise to give me a little bit more critical, and it's a dagger as well. So I get 8% more crit with using the dagger versus using 2 daggers. So I could have went with 2 daggers, but I went with this just to get that extra 8% critical to get me to this point without needing the Fighter's Guild stuff. Over here I have a Ruby Ash bow. Not the greatest bow, but hey, it works, and it has poison damage on it. It's also sharpened. And you can see it's a creative background, Killer Mech. So the build is really easy to put together when it comes to gear, but the playing of it, a lot of people might say, well, you're utilizing a lot of different things, and they're right. I do utilize some magicka, some stamina, but I don't burn through my magicka very fast, so the stamina really is more efficient for me. And then I also have a 1214 stamina recovery, which also plays really well on the build. Next up, I have my skills, of course, and we're going to go through those really quick. So first one on my first bar is Bloodthirsty. This is a damage ability that heals you when it ends, and it heals you for quite a bit, which is really nice. Next up, I run Steel Tornado. Of course, most dual-wield people do run Steel Tornado versus the other one that gives you stamina recovery. But, you know, it works, and it does a lot of damage, so it's really nice. Next up, I have Surprise Attack. I love Surprise Attack because it offers you Major Fracture, but it does a lot of damage, and if you come out of stealth and do it, it will hit for a ton of damage, usually about 30k for me. So it's a really powerful attack. I have gotten it up to 42. I don't know how, but I got it up to 42k once, and I just about died because I one-shot an enemy in PvE. I run Mirage, and the reason I run Mirage is so I get that Minor Ward and Minor Resolve, giving me that extra stuff, but it also gives me that 15% dodge rating, and I try to keep this up all the time. So, and then of course Swallow Soul, which is a heal for you, but it also gives you the Minor Vitality, increasing your healing received by 8%, which gives you a little bit more survivability, especially from healers. It makes the heals hit you for more, but it also makes your own heals hit you for more, so that's why I run this with the Bloodthirsty. It gives me the extra healing received. Next up is Lacerate, which is a really powerful ability, especially if you can get the morphs and stuff on it. I haven't got the morphs yet, I'm still working on it, but it's a really powerful damage over time ability. And then of course on the back bar I run my bow, which is Poison Arrow. I did have Poison Injection, but since the change to the bow, they changed around where this is located, so I had to I'm having to retrain in it, which is kind of annoying, but not a whole lot I can do about it. I run Poison Arrow. It will be Poison Injection for the extra poison damage. The next up is Acid Spray. I use this for the reduced movement speed, but it also applies that damage over time, and it does a nice initial damage too, especially if you can get it to crit. Next up is Arrow Barrage, which is an area of effect damage thing. It's a bigger area of effect, so you can apply this to more enemies, which is good. I know a lot of people like to use the smaller one, but this one I think it works just as well. And then of course I use Reaper's Mark to apply both spell and physical resistance, but it also gives me health back when I kill an enemy, and then it gives me Major Berserk for 5 seconds, which really does help when it comes to trying to maximize your damage potential. After that, I also use Ambush, which grants me Empower after I use it, so it's a really effective thing on this. So the way the build works, I'm going to just show you guys how I do my rotation. I usually try to start in stealth. I know in dungeons it's kind of a lot harder to do, but that's fine. So what I do is I start with Poison Injection, drop my thing here, do this. Usually I'll hit him with Reaper's Mark too. Jump in and just go right into this. I'll also apply that thing, even though it does the piercing armor, but I do it for the Empower, so I get that. Now another thing I will do sometimes is, of course, get my Mirage up, Reaper's Mark, and then I'll auto jump to him. Just basically to apply a little bit of damage and stuff like that. And if I want to bring him down really fast, I can just do that. So, but it's a really simple build. It's really easy to play. It's not complicated. It's you know, anyone can play it kind of thing, and it works out really well, especially for the healing aspect, because you can just tear through things. And if you wanted to do some stealth play, like in cities and stuff, and you have the Sword of Woe from the Assassin's Guild, it comes in handy, but you can also just play a stealth assassin type person. Go up behind enemies kind of thing, get some Mirage going on. Like I said, I can get usually 30k out of that, so... Really quick and easy build to play. Like I said, it does decent amount of damage. It has good sustainability and survivability, and that's why I made the build the way I did. Now I would suggest switching some things around, and instead of wearing all medium gear, like I'm wearing, I would probably drop this to heavy and put on a light belt just to do that. And I know that you would have to do, craft the whole set that way, and you could go with the medium, boots and Night Mothers and maybe the helm, because this helm is kind of gawky looking, no offense, but it's not the greatest looking helm. But it's a really easy build to play. Now, when it comes to champion points, depending on your level, your CP level and everything, you can do this in different ways. I just run mine a little differently, but I have 27 in spell, 27 in medium armor. I will have 27 in the thick skin, but I have 27 in here, 27 in here, giving me that 10% damage reduction. And of course, over here, the 27 gives you 1,600 extra resistances. I know a lot of people don't like to use resistance things. They like to dump in their hardy and element defender, but to me, I think having greater resistance and having both, it sounds more like you're going to get greater survivability out of it than the other way. Over here I have 20 in Expert Defender, 15 in Quick Recovery for the extra healing received. The more healing received you have, the greater your heals work for you, so it gives you greater survivability, and that's the main reason why I do it. Over here I have 41 in Warlord, giving me a reduced cost of 9.4% in my stamina abilities, along with the 20% I get in medium armor, which does... When this is at 46, it will be 10%, which would be really nice. Over here I have 27 in a Mooncalf. I don't need anything in Arcanist and Healthy because I just need that stamina recovery. That's my main focus, is doing stamina damage. So, Tumbling I have 29, 46 in Shade, giving me 10% reduced cost in Stealth. And then of course this gives me that break free and dodge rolling extra. So with the wearing medium armor, I already get 20% reduced cost in dodge rolling. This will give me eventually a 10%, which will be nice. Nothing in the Apprentice, nothing in the Anorak. Everything else is in here, which I have 142 points in Mighty, Piercing, I have 75 in Mighty, 13 in Piercing, 27 in Precise Strikes, and 27 in Thaumaturgy. I know a lot more people would probably put their points differently, but this just seems to work really well for me, so that's why I do it. I'm going to put out 27 into all of these, and then whatever points I have left over in the end, once I finish getting my champion points, I'm probably going to put into here or here, put into these two kind of things, or I might just go over here and put into Blessed. I haven't quite decided, because I really don't think that I need more than what I have, because I can still push out a decent amount of damage. I'm not pushing out mega, damage. If you want to go for the more meta setup, you can go look at any of the meta builds to get an idea of where to put the champion points if you have them. But it's a quick, cheap, inexpensive build, and it allows for some meta gameplay. And it's a purely mostly stamina build, because you don't use, like I said, you don't use a lot of magicka, and even if you did, you wouldn't use enough to really cause or to make make it complicated kind of thing. And it's just quick, fast damage. And I know a lot of people, especially when solo playing in the world, you want that quick, fast damage. So this is a great way to do it. Like I said, you just... I mean, it just depends on how you want to do your damage, but you can kill most things pretty quick with it, and it's really fast, it's really fun. And I do love the Nightblade playstyle, especially if you go for a pure stamina build, and you look at all the different things that you can do with the Nightblade stamina-wise. It doesn't seem like it offers a lot, but there's a lot of stamina-based skills in here. And when you look at it, it's got Killer Blade, it's got Ambush, it's got... it's got surprise attack, and I think even there's an ability in here that doesn't. This one, I think it doesn't. It's a toggle, doesn't cost a lot, and everything like that. And as you see, I only run one ability from here, which is Swallow. So, and the reason why I run it is for the healing receive. So really easy, fun build to play. Probably one of the more DPS type of builds that I do play when it comes to that kind of thing. So I do have that in there, and it works. Like I said, I know I'm showing it on Giants. I'm not showing it in dungeon play, but it does work in dungeons. I run dungeons with this character, not all the time because I'm mostly on my tank, but I do play this character quite a bit when I get a chance to. Like if we have a tank and we have a healer, I'll play this character most of the time when it comes to DPS. I do have several more builds coming, by the way. It's just taking me a little bit of time to get the materials and get the stuff put together, because like I said, I have to rely on somebody else right now, and I don't really like relying on somebody else for building my gear, but they offered, and it's pretty cool. So that's it for the Stamina Nightblade DPS build that I have here. I haven't quite got a name for it, but you can call it whatever you want, Stam Nightblade, whatever. And but it works, and it's fun, and it's an easy build. Anyone can play it. So that's it for the video. If you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that like button. It'd be greatly appreciated. If you want to see more videos by me, you can hit that subscribe button and see when I post videos. Other than that, that's it for now. Until next time, have a wonderful day, and I will see you all later. Bye.